What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in to talk about the content roadmap, I guess, for the updates, new content, and events that we'll see as part of Act 2 of Echoes. So some of this stuff naturally relates to the episode content itself, other things are just events that are taking place within that time frame, as there is still a relatively busy roadmap of things going on in the game. So we'll round up new activities, challenges, and quest unlocks that we'll get access to in the coming weeks, but additionally, some of the mid-season updates, the return of Solstice of Heroes for the year, additional events like Iron Banner, plus we'll round out weekly challenges, upcoming quests, and rewards that we'll be getting access to in this kind of midsummer part of the Echoes episode. So, as always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and find it useful. There may be some dates in here that are worth pinpointing if you're after specific bits of content, so let us know your thoughts in the comment section, but without further delay, let's get into it. And so of course, Act 2 is now live, and we've seen the initial launch week of Act 2 with the new battleground content, weapons and all of that stuff, but Part 2 of the story will kick off on July 23rd, so we'll get Act 2 Part 2 of A Rising Chorus. We can actually see the quest steps for these in the database. The spoilery parts tend to be hidden or classified, but we'll get some pretty normal season-style quest steps, harvesting radiolite, and in week 2 we'll also be interacting with something new that Failsafe has called nanobots, so this is obviously some tech that Failsafe is using to help us track down the conductor. But at the conclusion of that quest, we'll also get the NES 05 quest, which is the next research quest in the lineup, and they of course unlock new Failsafe upgrades, so with a bit of luck, week 2 will allow us to get the upgrade to focus for the new weapons that have come in Act 2. But there's a possibility we'll have to wait for the NES 06 quest to drop. We'll have to wait and find out, but also on July 23rd, alongside Part 2 of Act 2, and I know the definitions are getting a bit confusing here, but there will be another battleground, and this will be Battleground Core, which will feature as part of the weekly quest, where we can see we'll be diving down into Nessus once again, going even further, presumably, where the Taken influence will become apparent, so that'll be interesting. And I'll keep you posted on all of that content, of course, but also on July 23rd, Bungie have confirmed that they'll be enabling all of the Salvation's Edge challenges for a full week, so the weekly rotation will sort of be thrown out the window for the week, and instead of the challenges cycling through every reset, all of them will be active for that full week. So if you are working on getting anything done, whether it's Flawless, Master, all of the challenges, and Triumphs of course for cosmetic items, then that's going to be a good week to pay attention to. Moving forward though, we get to July 30th when Part 3 of the story for Act 2 will drop, so once again there'll be another Nessus research quest. This will be NES 06, and that'll give us more failsafe upgrades. And on top of the typical sort of seasonal steps, things like visiting this sunken cavern on Nessus, there will actually be a mission inside of the Vex network, so we'll need to meet with Saint 14 for the mission Shell. And so that's kind of like what we saw in week 1, where the third week in the story lineup actually dropped in mission, so it's a possibility that we'll see a similar thing for Act 3. Beyond that though, we get to the week of the 6th of August, and this will be quite a busy week, as we get the mid-season patch, as well as the Solstice of Heroes event. So for Solstice, a quick rundown, we won't go into too much detail, but there will be a Solstice memento for the first time, I believe. We can't preview what it looks like yet, but we do know it's a thing via the database. There'll also be a new Solstice weapon, and this time it's a bow. So this is a Void lightweight frame bow, but additionally we'll see updates to older Solstice weapons, the Something New hand cannon, and the crowning Duolog rocket launcher. So there'll be a couple of weapon things to go after as part of Solstice, and otherwise, of course, there'll also be armor, and presumably that armor will come with a sort of grind to unlock and upgrade it, as we've seen in previous years. But otherwise, it's looking like, on the most part, it's probable that Solstice will be a similar type of event to what we've seen previously, although we'll try and go into more detail about Solstice at some point soon. Worth mentioning the weekly challenges for week 10 though, and given that the story is wrapped up, we'll get fewer and more basic challenges. So there's one to acquire the perfect pitch, the ritual weapon for the episode, one to complete matches in the Crucible competitive playlist, and then we've got mid-range calibration and Cosmodrome activities. But that same week will be the mid-episode update, so Bungie have outlined a few different things here. Firstly, for weapons, they are increasing Tex Mechanica scout rifle damage by 30% in PvE, as well as reducing flinch for sniper rifles by 50% versus combatants in PvE, and they're increasing the Ariana's Vow shield damage versus barrier champions by 67%, as well as removing stat penalties from adept mods. This This will also be the week where we finally get the nerf for Still Hunt and the Golden Gun interaction with Celestial Nighthawk, so the Celestial Shot will see damage reduced by 25%. Otherwise, we don't know of specific changes that might happen for the weapon. But there'll be ability adjustments as well, and Bungie have said that they'll be bringing Swarm Grenade and Threaded Spectre into line, as well as increasing Twilight Arsenal and Hammer of Soul damage versus bosses and mini-bosses. On top of that, they'll correct an issue that allows swapping between regular ammo mods and reserves mods to enable a higher ammo count than the current maximum, but to offset it, they will boost reserve ammunition for all weapon types by 15%, and weapons with lower reserves will get a larger buff. So that's going to be a fairly significant change at base in the game. So that's what we know about the mid-season update for the moment, although I'm sure there will be more details about it soon. Some players will ask the question about when we'll see Iron Banner for the second time in the episode. It's looking like we're probably only going to get 2 Iron Banners before we head into episode 2. Bungie had previously said that there would be 7 to 8 Trials weekends in between Iron Banners, so they haven't announced a specific date for the next event yet, but on the basis of what they have said, it would either be the 27th of August or, more likely, the 3rd of September, because 27th of August is when Act 3 drops, so they're probably not going to drop Iron Banner on the same week. So 3rd of September is the most likely date we have for the next Iron Banner event. The final couple of mentions for Act 2 though are the weekly challenges. So for week 11, August 13th, once again, we'll get fewer challenges for the last couple of weeks, but there's Mod Collector to unlock the artifact mods, the challenge to acquire any ornament for the seasonal ritual weapon, one to complete activities in Vanguard, Gambit or Crucible, and then Kinetic Forces to get final blows with kinetic weapons. And then on week 12 of the episode, which is August 20th, we have Moon activities, as well as Blistered Fingers to rapidly defeat Vex in Gambit or Vanguard activities, Orchestral Performance to get final blows with heavy ammo in Gambit, Crucible or Vanguard, and there's Flourish of Power to defeat Guardians in the Mayhem playlist with super abilities, so that tells us Mayhem will be up on August 20th as well, and finally Calibrate long range weapons. So that's the sort of lineup for Act 2. Of course, Act 3 will begin on August 27th, so that's something like 5 weeks away from now, it isn't that long. And in Act 3, of course, we will get the Exotic Mission. We don't know if that will drop on week 1, but it will drop shortly after the beginning of that act. Plus, once again, we'll see 5 new artifact mods, another 50 Season Pass ranks, and we'll also see the episode Machine Gun and Trace Rifle drop, so a couple more juicy weapons there, as well as the reprised Martyr's Retribution. For now, that's what we have though, so let us know what you're looking forward to in the next couple of weeks. I figured a bit of a breakdown of when things are going to be taking place might be useful for some folks. I'll also list a text version of the key dates in the description box, so if you really do enjoy planning, those might be useful for your calendar. If you've enjoyed the video though, a rating below very much helps us out on the channel. Also be sure to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more Destiny content. But otherwise, cheers for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.
The conductor grows more dangerous each passing moment.